Hello, beautiful Capricorns. I hope you're doing fantastically, and I am so sorry for being so late with your video, your weekly reading, which is today. It is May 18th, so this will go to the 24th, but it was supposed to be up on the 15th. So I guess I'll have to pull a couple of extra cards to try and make it right. I hope it's not like a couple readings ago where it was the perfect reading of the century and the extra cards I pulled made it not quite as perfect. But oh well, what can you do? It was meant to be, and it happened, and I'm sure it will be something that was meant to be revealed, because sometimes that's the way it is. The reading isn't exactly what we want, but it is important to know. So let's dive in. A very, very nice start, an even better start. Ooh, I like the King and Queen flanking my favorite card. Ugh, I hate that card. But there's a lot of truth to be revealed here. So, I wasn't going to pull these, but I'm going to say these three cards are moving into your following week, but this is your week, your current week. Okay, so let's unpack this delightful scenario. Okay, I've been getting a lot of cards lately where it's a couple that appear together, or something where it looks like a picture the way it's framed, the cards, which I love. So the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a good representative of a fire sign card, a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. I associate myself on some level with this card, although this is my favorite card in the deck, so this is kind of what I consider my card. So, because I'm Aries is the point. But the Queen of Wands is all about action. She's social. She's, kind of a party animal. And she runs a great kingdom, but it's very active. She is good at doing physical stuff, and she's really good at putting things into action. And the King is all of those things with a bit more authority. It's a little bit more grounded. Where she's more creative, I'd say he's more, hot to go into battle, that kind of thing. He's more authoritative in the sense that there might be a little bit more structure, but he's still very brave, strong, also very passionate. They are lovers of action and creating things, and the two of them together are even more powerful. Yes, the male and female can be interchanged here depending on, how it works for you. If you have more of these qualities, then you can call yourself the king. If you have more of these qualities, you can call yourself the queen. It's not really about gender at all in the cards. It just isn't. It's always been interchangeable since the beginning of time. It has more to do with the attributes and which attributes you have. It has nothing to do with, the way we view sexuality and things like that. None of that. It's all about behaviors and how you function in the world. So you could say that certain things, if depending on how you view the world, you could say, well, this isn't typically male or that isn't typically male. But let's face it, there are things that are, if you take a bunch of males, there are certain things that will assert themselves. And you could say, oh, but somebody's an exception. Great, that's true. Same with the females. Somebody's an exception. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the things that kings would typically do. Now, if you want to tell me you're a female who has those qualities, fine. I mean, I would say I'm Aries. I would say I could be either one of these people. Absolutely I could, because they both have qualities that I have. So, I would probably identify more with the female, but there are times when I would be more like the male. So, whatever. It just depends on what actions we're talking about here is partially what matters. But either way, they are very, very active cards. So if you have things you want to put into action, this is a very good time when you've got this much active power on your side. Then we've got my favorite card in the deck, the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups can mean many, many things. It's a very lighthearted, beautiful card, but it has such multi-layered meanings that you could call it a complicated card. It can mean that you loved your childhood, that you had a beautiful childhood. It can mean that you have a special friendship with somebody, which either is somebody from your childhood, or it could be that same like special love and childlike kind of connection where you feel like you could tell them all your secrets, and it's just a very, very close bond. Playful, fun, happy, lighthearted, all of those kinds of things. You know, it's just a really positive card. I've gotten this card my whole life. My mother read tarot cards. I've always gotten the card, love the card. So this is incredibly positive and powerful. Now, then we get into some more complication here. So here we've got conflict. Some kind of conflict. It could be anything. Sometimes this card means engaging in martial arts. So if you take martial arts, sometimes this card will come up. My apologies, I have allergies and they're doing me in today. Anyway, there's some kind of conflict here. And I'm going to say, although this means, you know, some kind of emotional trauma, it usually means feeling betrayed by somebody. Excuse me. Whether or not you are betrayed is another matter, but this typically is a feeling of betrayal. That's why we say we feel like somebody backstabbed us, because that's kind of what it feels like. It can also mean somebody goes behind your back to do something and you find out about it and you're traumatized because of it. That feeling of being stabbed in the back or deceived in that way by somebody we trusted. So this is a bad feeling, and you know, you need to figure out what it is. You need to figure that out. So here we've got the Four of Swords, which is all about, in medieval times, the knight, when he survived the battle, would come home and either lie on top of his coffin or inside of it to kind of reassess life, because he wasn't really planning on being alive. I mean, it was kind of luck of the draw when you survived that kind of thing in medieval times. So, but he did survive. He came out on top. He survived, and now he has the rest of his life to work through and enjoy. So he's going to figure out what to do with it, because you don't want to miss any opportunities. You've gotten this second chance, and you don't want to miss any of those opportunities. So whatever this is, you can figure out what to do next. And something brilliant's going to happen here, because you have the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is all about the truth and your thoughts. And maybe it's getting rid of all this bad stuff that's been going on. Whatever it is, this conflict, this whoever has made you feel this way. If it's a person, maybe it's time to see the light and get out of there. You know, there's something that isn't so great here, but there's so much good stuff around. These two cards have similarities. Here we've got our person, you, reflecting and trying to figure out what to do next. And here we've got you also going within, meditating, trying to figure out things. Sometimes it can be a card of sacrifice. If you feel that you've got too much going, a lot of people, when they feel like they just have too many things to handle, they can't even see straight. They've got so many burdens. Now, this is not a bad card. This is a good card. It's a card where you're doing something, you're in action, nothing is stopping you. But the bad part about this card is that you feel like you are overburdened or overstressed, or there's a better way to be doing things. So when this happens, sometimes we feel like we are sacrificing ourselves to this. And you don't want to feel that way. You want to feel that you are in positive action without all these encumbrances and conflicts and problems. You don't want to feel like anybody's doing anything to you. If we just were to cover up this one card, this is not a bad reading at all. In fact, it's a very good reading. It's very good when you've got this Ace of Swords and you've got all of this beautiful stuff up here. And, you know, nothing else is really terrible. Sure, there's conflict, but, I mean, that can mean anything. So, whatever's going on, remember, swords are thoughts. They are air. They are the intellect. They're not, no, you're not really being stabbed. You're not really dead. So, go into that little phase where you refigure your life and reconfigure your life and come out on the other side. So I did promise you some kind of a bonus. So first we're going to cut the deck and see what our little surprise card is. Oh, I'm so happy you got this card, the Chariot. The Chariot is a power card, one of the most powerful cards in the deck. It means basically you have the reins of your own life and you can do anything. Anything, anything, anything. You know, there aren't even any reins because you don't even need them. You are in the driver's seat. You are the person at the helm. You are the one driving your life. So make decisions that serve you. You guys are, Capricorn, you guys are really infamous for beating yourself up over things that you don't need to do that about. Whatever this is, sometimes you guys, this is a weird thing to say, I know, because this is a backstabbing situation, but you guys are so hard on yourselves that I think sometimes, even when things aren't your faults, you just beat yourself up over them. So think about that and don't do it to yourself. And we're going to do 3 more cards just because we can. Okay. I really want them to be nice, and they are. I really wanted them to be nice because it's your bonus for being so patient. So let's look. So this might be in relation to this. You feel like you're really juggling. And I'm going to suggest that it's probably about work. And this is something you're doing. It doesn't have to be work. It could be like whatever projects you're doing in life. But you're really struggling to find balance between that and everything else you need to do. That is a hard thing. You know, it's something a lot of people face, but it's not the easiest situation, trying to do everything in not enough time, trying to coordinate your health with your, you know, active life, your social life, your work life, your, you know, trying to make money, but at the same time you want to have friends and nothing, there isn't enough time and everything's kind of weird right now. It's just not easy. So don't beat yourself up, give yourself a break and know that it'll come. Just keep working on things. Just always keep being in action. You're going to be just fine. And the Wheel of Fortune is a lucky card. I mean, people will tell you it's just something's going to happen. Fated, F-A-T-E-D, fated. Something, anything. Luck of the draw, luck of the spin of the wheel. But when this card appears, I say it's lucky. And there is usually a lot of evidence to suggest that I am right on that. So I want to know what happened lucky in your life this week. So if something does, please let me know. Maybe it's this wonderful relationship. Because here we've got a very special relationship. 2 people who are on the same wavelength. Call it your soulmate, call it your best friend, call it whatever. Could be a lover, could be a friend, could be a business partnership, could be anything. But the fact is these 2 people are on the same wavelength. That's the main thing. So it is a wonderful, beautiful, happy relationship. And when I see that with this, I wonder if it's somebody out of your past. And, you know, there's some pretty positive energy here, and you can make anything happen. So if it's a love relationship, I think it'll be very wonderful and strong. And put things into action here, Capricorn. You've got a lot of ability to put things into action. Plus, you have the Chariot, which means you have the power. So this is a really exciting reading. I'm really happy about this reading. So I will unleash you on the world, Capricorn. Have a fantastic week, and I hope to talk to you soon.